actually started out in the disability space, and through just kind of living my life being that person that starts from yes, I transitioned for a short while into international education. So I had the really great fortune of being able to live and work abroad in the Middle East, which, was fantastic. It's had lasting implications in my family. Just kind of on a fluke, I had the opportunity to come back into the disability space, and in particular into the neuromuscular disease space and rare disease space. And it was just about at that time that I realized something that I've been dealing with since I was a child, which for me has just been really an inconvenience more than anything else. But it was, in fact, a neuromuscular disease. So I live with something called Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease. It's a disease of the peripheral nerves. I'm very fortunate to have a mild case. I have a lot of weakness in, my wrist and my hands, my feet and my ankles. It could have been, a little more difficult for me, but fortunately it's not. But I only in the last couple of years have started talking about this publicly, because I thought, how disingenuous of me to work alongside people who are advocating for visibility and funding for cures, and how could I not be supporting them, not just as somebody who works for an association and creates marketing materials, but also, as an active player, as somebody who has skin in that game. I think we've all seen on the news the number of wheelchairs, and these aren't the old-fashioned wheelchairs that they take you around in the hospital. These are very sophisticated computers, actually. They cost tens of thousands of dollars, and they are the key to independence for people who have mobility disabilities, like a neuromuscular disease. And when those chairs are out of commission, it takes a while to get them fixed. It's expensive to get them fixed. And what do you do? What do you do without your mobility device? So we worked with both sides of the aisle in the House and the Senate, and we helped to create some language that really helped to advance this bill in the interest of our neuromuscular disease community. So the legislation that's now on its way to the president's desk as of about an hour ago, one of the most important mandates is that they've agreed to give the disability community a seat at the table when the government makes decisions about air travel safety. We're now holding airlines accountable for reporting any damage to wheelchairs. The government is committed to continue studying wheelchair tie-down systems, so people who depend on a wheelchair can stay in their chair on the plane, which is huge. And along those lines, a pathway for creating those spots on planes, and then mandating regular training for airline and personnel who assist passengers with disabilities as they load and stow their wheelchairs for flight. So this is an incredible deal. Again, a shout out to some of the main advocates who came forward and participated in our campaign to get this legislation passed with these specific provisions. So couldn't be happier today. The other leg of the stool is multidisciplinary care. One of our physicians really created the model for this, and this is one-stop shopping in medical terminology or a medical context for people with disabilities. So you can go to your clinic and you are seen there by your pulmonologist, by your neurologist, by the occupational therapist. So you're not coming back. You're not doing 10 different appointments at 10 different medical centers. You come in, the physicians and the therapists are all well coordinated around your care. And we've got studies that say people who have the benefit of multidisciplinary care generally live a little bit longer. So it's really an important and unique thing that we offer. I think at this point, we're the only national network of care centers powered by a national nonprofit. So we have 150 plus centers around the country. 47 of them are specific to ALS, but you can go and receive some really excellent coordinated care. We are very invested in regulatory and public policy that helps provide a better quality of life, more independence, more access to benefits for people who are living with neuromuscular disease. and this is emerging sort of as a fourth leg of that stool is our community outreach, and we do that in a couple of ways. One of the women that was absolutely essential to the FAA reauthorization provisions we just talked about works on my team as the Vice President of Disability Outreach and engagement. So, we're talking now a little bit beyond the neuromuscular disability community, because we have fixes and we have hacks and we have solutions, and why not give those to everybody who benefits? So Mindy is playing a tremendous role in helping bring that forward and engaging more people with neuromuscular disabilities and other mobility disabilities into our advocacy programs. Get involved. This is how you can help. You can, and also you can find community in the work that we do, which in the rare disease community is very, very important. That caregivers have family and community and support and respite, that children, especially those living with a disability, have time to be kids and be silly and go to camp. And we run an amazing series of camps over the summer. We serve about, just under 1,000 kids every summer. And there is nothing they can't do. It is fully accessible. So we have kids ziplining and fishing and doing archery and arts and crafts and being silly and playing pranks and doing all of those things that, kids are supposed to do over the summer. And it was really considered to be folly. You will never cure these diseases. You will never crack the genetics of this. And, we did. So, I think we really invest in science because we have made the impossible possible, and we think we could do it again. So we have very ambitious goals for our science, not only to bring relief to people who have these diseases, but also to see what we can do in terms of alleviating challenges, and hopefully maybe even one day preventing these diseases. 100% digital fluency, 100% the propensity to really digest and analyze good data, especially in our marketing realm. And in the nonprofit space, we cannot afford to trawl the entire ocean to get a message out. We have to be targeted. We have to be smart about what we're saying and to whom. So we rely on data. We rely on AI to help us really give us parameters, so we have a better shot of getting our message out, engaging the people that we want to engage, and getting them to answer a compelling call to action. If you're projecting yourself, especially as an executive, it's digital fluency, and it's that ability to communicate as well on a screen and through a computer as it is in a boardroom. You have to learn how to command an audience in a new way, and that's, I think that's a lot of skill and a lot of luck and intuition. I think the first thing you have to think about is, carrying these burdens and these problems that go unresolved. Look at the implications on staff morale, on movement forward, on your reputation and your relationships. It's really incumbent upon us to be always as proactive as we can. But there are always those complex, very knotty problems, and you have to take them apart a little bit at a time, because eventually they will implode, and then you have lost all control. So it's uncomfortable, it's difficult, there's a lot of disagreement around the table. It has to happen. That is incumbent on you as a leader in this space. You've got to lead the problem solving the process. I am personally not a leader who necessarily seeks consensus from the team. I think I have to have a 70–80% sense of certainty, and then I'm willing to go forward. I don't ever want perfection to be the enemy of good. No decision is always perfect. So, I want to listen to the entire argument, and then I want to make a decision. So I would say annually, maybe every 18 months or 2 years, because audiences do change and shift. And I'll give you an example. Back in the 50s and 60s, children who had a muscular dystrophy diagnosis nearly always died before they became teenagers. Now that population is starting their own family. They have careers, they've been to college. So, you have to know things like that and how those populations are shifting. And at the end of the day, you're dealing with people, and people are fickle, and people's opinions are influenced by other people, by something they've read or heard. So, the more you're able to communicate with and look at objective data and analyses about the people that you serve, the more likely you are to hit that target and really make a measurable difference in their lives, either through information or through something that you've been able to discover or produce through your research.
I'm ready.